Article 1, Section 8 gives the Congress the power to make laws. If you would like, I can hand you a copy of the Constitution. If you can find something contrary to that, I'd like to see it.
I've got mine right here, sir.
Okay.
And I did my
1 section.
research. And the experts that helped me with this did the research. It's a violation of the Fifth Amendment and the Ninth Amendment, and the basic principle that individuals have the right to freely use and have their personal property. And the federal government does not have the authority to restrict that right. I know you have the right to make laws, but your laws are specifically limited under the enumerated powers. And the federal government has gone so far and away above their constitutional limitations that this whole thing is basically a joke.
Thank you, Mr. Triplett.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Triplett, Mr. Triplett did today is that law is in response to the Wall Street meltdown. The Wall Street meltdown is caused by incredible irresponsibility in the mortgage lending, based on phony assessments. Was a part of it, but not the biggest one.
Yes, the big
No, sir. And please, if you interrupt, I'm going to ask the police to ask you to leave. You can hold your town meeting at your wish. Now, in response to that, again, the whole thing, the credit default swaps, the Wall Street meltdown was based on phony mortgage rates, based on over-assessed values, mostly in California, that became sold on Wall Street. And the whole bailout, that huge bailout pushed by George Bush when he went on national television 4 times, got to get Congress to vote for this. Both the presidential candidates, both McCain and Obama voted for it. And so Congress said, this is being abused. We have to regulate this, and yes, quite honestly, very few individuals, you know, if you want to be in the business of mortgages, then you're going to be regulated by this like any other person or business that's in the business of mortgages. If you're an individual who's going to sell one piece of property and you're fortunate enough to be able to finance it yourself, then you're exempt. But otherwise, you're going to live by those rules so that this doesn't happen again. Somebody over here. Yes, sir, James.
I'm James Farrell. I have 2 questions there. I'd like you to consider originating legislation that any congressman or senator who is convicted of a felony, as in the gentleman from Louisiana just got convicted of a fraud and kickbacks and so forth, that if the person is convicted, he forfeits any retirement.
I've already voted for something like that.
Then why is the man still drawing retirement?
Let me look into it.
My second question, I'm retired Navy.
Good for you.
I went to the CB base on Christmas Day to go eat at the base galley. I was told I couldn't because it's a Navy-wide policy that retirees who have served this country for 20 years or 30 years or whatever, laid down their lives for this country and that flag, are told they can't yet eat at the galley. It's a Navy-wide policy.
Okay, let me bring that to Secretary Davis.
And I had specifically asked Captain Brown, the CO, commanding officer of the Navy base.
Was he there?
Navy base. And he said, yes, that is a Navy-wide policy. He doesn't agree with it, but he said that's it's not my policy. It's somebody wearing 4 stars.
James, you're the first person to bring that to my attention. I speak to Secretary Davis fairly often.
And I think it's wrong.
Okay. You made that point well, and I agree.
Please do something.
Okay. How about this gentleman?
I have a question. I'm Ken Overstreet from Diamond Head. My question pertains to votes on Speaker of the House. A lot of the problems that we're having in Congress, is we have a lot of congressmen that vote for extreme liberal Speaker of the House, people that mastermind Captain Rob, the healthcare takeover, hard left-wing appointments to the committees. What will you do as congressman to vote against these liberal Speaker of the House?
Again, do you read the Sun Herald?
No.
I do.
Okay, if you read the Sun Herald, you know they publish our voting record every Sunday. If you read that, you know I have voted against cap and trade. You know I voted against the health care bill. You know that contrary to the speaker, I voted against NAFTA, she voted for. And so, again, if you read the paper, you already knew the answer to that,
I
didn't
know
you?
what your votes are, but.
Okay, well, you just asked me what would I do, I just did
vote
it.
for the Speaker of the House, you voted for somebody that masterminds
I'm voting
getting
for
these
me.
things passed.
You vote for a Democratic slate, a committee chairman, or a Republican slate. I am the most knowledgeable guy in Congress on shipbuilding. I have 10,000 people right down this road, count on that place to be busy. I can vote for me to be,
You voted for Speaker of the House.
because you vote for the entire slate. And I voted for myself as chairman of Sea Power. I voted as Ike Skelton, for Ike Skelton as chairman of Armed Services. I voted for Sylvester Reyes, a Vietnam veteran, helicopter gunner, lucky to be alive, as chairman of Intelligence. That's who I voted for. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. This gentleman, come to you. Yes, sir.
Now, I got a question, but it's about some passed from the county. Said, about foreclosure. If I may, I want to read it, it's just something. You don't want to ask. It says.
Wait, sir, it says the Attorney General of the state of Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I am a U.S. Congressman.
That's right, what I'm saying.
If you have an issue with the state of Mississippi, you really need to talk to your state senator or your state rep or your attorney general, all of whom you have an opportunity to vote on as well. I realize, sir, but I'm a U.S. Congressman. Not, that letter, I thought I recognized the letterhead is from the state of Mississippi.
Right. But I wanted to ask you some questions to you, the congressman, don't you?
You're welcome to answer me, but again, if my house is on fire, I'll call a fireman, not a plumber.
That's why I'm calling you, you're supposed to be.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
Okay, so what's the question?
Okay, if Attorney General issues this edict, do the people of the state of Mississippi have to abide by it?
It's called an attorney general's opinion. They do it quite often, and it carries in effect the force of law until overruled otherwise.
And that's not an overrule, but it's not an opinion. It's an edict from the honorable governor here at the bar. And these people here, you say the state of Mississippi, maybe you're trying to double question.
No, sir, I'm just trying not to overestimate my importance. I work in Congress, not in the state. I make rules for the nation, not for the state. They're different. Somebody else has those jobs.
Yeah, I'm just talking about a violation.
Okay?
I thought you enforce laws, and if you find out somebody's violating, maybe you could do something.
Okay, again, I don't have any power to enforce laws. That gentleman has the power to enforce laws, that gentleman has the power to enforce laws.
Yes, sir.
We make them, but under the separation of powers, I do not have the legal authority to enforce them,
Yes,
no
sir.
more than you do.
Yes, sir. But
Okay.
you got more power than me. You said that if this man didn't act like you wanted to act, you can ask somebody to remove him. If somebody's doing something acting out of character, maybe you got more authority to ask that they be removed or sanctioned or chastised for what they're doing, more so than I do.
Well, what I'm
And
trying
that's
to
what
do is
I was
point you in the right direction.
Okay.
And if you got a problem with the state of Mississippi, and I used to be a state senator, so I know this better than most. You got a problem with the state of Mississippi, contact your state senator, you contact your state rep, and if you got a problem with the attorney general, you call him.
Called him, I've written
pretty
no
simple.
response.
Okay, well, I regret that. I answer my mail. I regret that not everyone else in elective office answers their mail. Yes, sir?
Thank you.